Hello CEP 200 students and welcome to Unit 3 of the course. It looks like after this unit as of October 20th you will be almost pretty much halfway through the semester. So this semester really seems to be flying by, which is very good. One of the things that I really wanted to bring up right away was a survey that I had posted in Unit 3 that has to do with the unit videos that I've been uploading. So a lot of responses that I've been getting in the assignments, as well as emails that I have been receiving, are asking questions that I have either answered in the welcome video or answered in that unit video. So that leads me to believe that students aren't actually watching the unit videos or have not watched the welcome video. And so what I have done is I have created a survey. It's right at the top of your Unit 3 materials in the unit folder. Basically just asking if you're watching these videos, if you find them to be helpful, and what is going to help me with that is basically to let me know if I should keep recording them. And the reason why I started recording them is because in previous years I did not have this component of the course where I was uploading unit videos. Over the years I had received feedback that students were looking for a little bit more of an interactive element from the instructor. So what I did start doing is I have been uploading these kind of like mini lectures. I wouldn't call it a lecture because they don't usually go for too long, and it's just basically me addressing any concerns I had in the previous unit and what you should be looking forward to in your upcoming units. So please let me know if you would like me to not complete, but continue uploading these videos. Just complete the survey and I can take a look. If there are students who find that these are helpful, I will continue recording them. It's not something where like majority rules or anything like that. So let's move on. Last evening, I had completed grading all of the elements of Unit 1. So your discussion board number 2 should have been finished grading as of like mid last week. Quiz 1 should have been graded pretty much about a week ago, and then I completed all of the Unit 1 assignments last night. So the quizzes looks pretty good. I didn't hear any difficulties with accessing the quiz or anything like that. Your discussion boards were really good. A few students did forget to comment on the 2 classmates posts, so really make sure that you're doing that. It wouldn't hurt to go through the syllabus and just take a second look at the syllabus just to make sure that you're not missing any elements. Make sure that you are really paying attention to all the components of this course. And then for the Unit 1 assignment, so there was something about this that I did want to bring up. So for the unit assignments, most of the students did a really great job. But there were a handful of people whose assignment was pretty brief. And I do want to kind of refer back to my welcome video in saying that it's very easy to get straight to the point and just answer the question directly that is being asked within your unit assignment. But with this, you're not providing much thought or insight or detail or anything. And as this is an online course, we are really missing the interactive and processing piece aside from the discussion board posts. So in your unit assignments, like this is a place to really sort out your thoughts and talk about the question, talk about your response, why the elements that you're listing are important, what you really thought of something. So in order to get full credit here, I really need students to be providing well thought out, detailed and insightful responses. So I did leave quite a few marks and some feedback in a number of students' papers about what exactly I'm looking for. So please, if you can expand on brief answers, please do so. That is what is going to get you full credit. But other than that, I really hope that you are well versed in the textbook and what topics you're excited about learning about, and what elements of the course what the expectations are of the elements of the course, really. Just because I think that we've spent a lot of time going through the syllabus, looking at the textbook, the code of ethics, and that's something else I did want to mention as well. So for the ACA Code of Ethics, this is like the gold standard of the Code of Ethics for counseling. And the reason why I say it's the gold standard is because there are actually a number of code of ethics within the counseling professions. And what I mean by that is, for an example, I am a rehabilitation counselor as well. And certified rehabilitation counselors, or CRCs, which we will learn about in this course, also have their own code of ethics. And so while the ACA is the gold standard, there are other like branches of code of ethics that the counseling professions might have individually. But I can assure you that in most cases, they're pretty much parallel as far as what is important and that kind of thing. And one of the questions in your unit assignment was, what is is there a primary decision-making model when it comes to ethics? And a lot of students did put the ACA Code of Ethics. And the reason why this is not the correct answer is because the ACA Code of Ethics is not an ethical decision-making model. It is an ethical guide of all of the expectations that you should be following as a counseling professional. What I mean by an ethical decision-making model is that there is not a guide or a book that essentially is going to list all of the different problems, ethical dilemmas that you might run into and give you a how-to guide of how exactly to come about drawing a conclusion and what to do. So that is what I mean by a decision-making model. Nothing is going to specifically outline this kind of situation and what you should do in order to find a resolution or, a sensible conclusion. With the Code of Ethics, this basically just gives you the guidelines and the expectations of what you should be following in the counseling profession. You are going to be presented as a counseling professional with a number of ethical dilemmas that might take, a number of different steps or ways to resolve. Not everything is going to be resolved the same exact way. Each of your situations are going to be a little bit different, and that is why there is not a primary decision-making model, because you might have to seek supervision, or you might have to take this into consideration when you are thinking of coming to a sensible conclusion. So that's why there is no how-to book, because everything generally has different elements that are going to make things different. So again, if you're really having trouble with finding a solution, seeking supervision or talking with your coworkers is always a good place to start. So, moving on to Unit 2. So you just finished Unit 2, and I should have this all graded by the time that Unit 3 is over. That is the 20th of October. So in Unit 2, you completed the Unit 2 assignment and discussion board number 3, and I am so excited to read your discussion board number 3 responses because we talk about trauma-informed care in this unit, and I love trauma-informed care. So I'm really excited to see what you guys think about this. This is a training that I'm actually going to be conducting with my place of employment at the end of this month. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed the clinical mental health counselors and addiction counselors. And we will get into actually the ACEs studies in Unit 4. But, excuse me, that's just my work radio. So yeah, I also get like really nerdy about the ACEs study, which we will be going into in Unit 3, which also, it kind of links with trauma-informed care. So for Unit 3, this upcoming unit, you are going to learn about rehabilitation counselors and career counselors. So you are going to read a few articles and 2 chapters from your book, and then you are going to watch 2 videos. One is a TED Talk, surprise, surprise. And the other is called The Art of Rehabilitation Counseling, and this is a rather short video, it's not too long. So you're going to do Unit 3 assignment and quiz number 2. And the other element that is included in this unit, which I would get a head start on right away, is the resource list. So I am going to be very specific. So I'm very glad that you're watching this video because I guarantee I'm going to get a ton of questions about this. For the resource list, you are going to go and you're going to find the template rubric that I have posted in the project section. It has all of the different counseling professionals that we are going to learn about in this course. When you are searching for these professionals, you must find a professional that actually holds the credentials that are necessary for someone that is typically in that position. What I mean by this, you will find if you end up going into the counseling professions, if you end up, in the realm or learning about counseling professions beyond this course, there are professionals who are labeled with a particular title that might not actually hold the traditional credentials of that title. So, for example, you might have someone who is listed as a mental health counselor or a mental health therapist who don't actually possess a license for mental health counseling. Instead, they might have their license in social work. So they might be a licensed clinical social worker. So there are certain professions that can actually do the same duties of another profession with different credentials. And I know it makes it super, super confusing. So what I'm going to ask you to do, it might be a good idea to go through your book and just approach each of the counseling professions and write down what credentials they need. So for example, you'll need a mental health counselor, like a clinical mental health counselor. Their credentials are typically a license in mental health counseling. If you have a rehabilitation counselor, they require a certification in rehabilitation counseling. If you are, and I know I'm giving you some answers right now, if you are looking at a licensed marriage and family therapist, they need a license, it's an LMFT, licensed marriage and family therapist. So you want to be sure that the individual that you are listing actually holds the credentials that would be taught in this course. So that's just kind of the thing, is to kind of reiterate and get you really knowledgeable of the credentials that are typically required for someone in that position. So I hope that that makes sense. This is going to be due as a discussion board post. This is a precursor to your final paper. So the reason why I make this public in the discussion board post is because your final paper, which you might want to start thinking about now, is interviewing a counseling professional. From your list, from the counseling professionals that you might have interest in interviewing, you might not be able to set up an interview. So what you could do is just go into the discussion board, find another person who uploaded a resource list with professionals in your area, and you could look at those professionals and see if you could reach out to them for an interview. So that is the importance of this. It's kind of like networking. In your resource list at the bottom, please be sure to list 3 counseling professionals from that list that you would have interest in interviewing. It's very, very important. It's worth a number of points, so please don't forget to do that. But other than that, I think that is everything. So Unit 1 is graded. You just submitted Unit 2. We're going into Unit 3. So I will have some feedback for you on Unit 2. Probably in the midst of Unit 3, but definitely by the end of Unit 3. I tried to kind of pace things and get things graded along the way. Since I am teaching 2 sections of the course, it can be kind of difficult to grade everything at once. So as always, if you need anything, please feel free to email me. Any questions, concerns, absolutely anything. But other than that, I will see you in next unit. Thanks. Bye-bye.